I give these maybe maybe like a 7 out of 10. Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Uniquely Made, and I'm your host Monique. And today I'm coming at y'all with another makeup brush review. It's a collection that I found on Amazon for the low price of like $10. And actually right now, it's a sale, I guess a sale on the brushes, and they're only $7.99. So these are the BS-Mall makeup brushes. They're synthetic brushes, and you get about 14 of them. 5 of them are face brushes, and the rest look like they are for the eyes and maybe like spot concealing and things like that. So I've had these brushes for about 2 months now, and I'm just getting around to reviewing them, and I've been so I've been so adamant on wanting to review them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So now is the day, finally. So my face is already moisturized and primed and prepped, so I'm just going to go ahead in with foundation already. I'm going to go in with the Face Flat brush. This is something that I would go in with generally anyway with foundation. It's flat. It is kind of soft, so I'm a little weary of this because it is very soft. You see how it bends? I totally prefer something a little more dense, or maybe should I use this? This is a face round brush, so it's like the same brush. One is flat, one is more round. Let's see, the face flat is to blend liquid or cream products onto flat areas of the face, such as forehead and cheeks. The round brush buffs powder foundation application. Is a powder foundation application brush for blending mineral products onto the skin. So I'm just going to use the face flat brush for my foundation, and probably just use the round brush to buff in my powder foundation that I lay over my foundation. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm also trying a new foundation today, so hopefully it's my color. If not, I have to finesse it, you know. I'm just gonna start off with this little bit first, and let's see how it goes. Oh, this is a perfect match too. So I love Maybelline's foundation. Okay, sorry about my little rubber bands here. They're part of my orthodontic treatment, so I hope they're not really a distraction, but I need to keep these babies on for like 24/7. So I'm just going in with a little more product. I'm gonna place it where I need a little bit more coverage, and basically let it like set for a minute, so that way I can get as much coverage. Sometimes I keep my foundation in that spot to like dry up a little bit, and then I'll blend it out so I can get as much coverage as possible. So I'm gonna let it like sit right here for a minute. Bring down the extra product down to my neck. My hair wrap started falling out, so I had to comb it out. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and blend where I let it set for a minute. I do like this brush. Wow. I like it. It doesn't leave my face streaky. It buffs in very well. So I like it. I like this brush. Wow, even though it's soft, it still gets the product onto your face without like smearing it. So, wow, definitely like this flat face brush. Alright guys, so I just did my eyebrows off camera really quickly, because we don't need to see that process. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into concealer now. And with concealer, I'm going to use this face tapered brush. So what I'm going to do, so this face tapered brush says it's best for concealing under the eyes and nose areas which are hard to reach. So I'm gonna place my concealer like normal and then blend out with this brush. Now, I normally do not use a brush to blend out my concealer. It's just definitely not my preference of choice. I definitely prefer a sponge, but just for today, I'm going to use this brush. So I'm going to place my concealer, blend it out, and then set with this brush as well. So let's see how this performs. I'm quite nervous because I normally do not like the way my under eye concealer looks with a brush. It just is not flattering. It creases up. But this may be the moment where it changes all of that. Okay, so let me go in my concealer. So I'm gonna go in like normal. Now this is a hydrating concealer, so I'm gonna let this set a tad bit, meaning I'm gonna let it get like tacky a little bit before I blend it out, because it just moves a whole lot if I don't, and I want like a lot of coverage. Think of it like glue. If you go put glue down, you want it to get tacky first before you go try to stick something to it, or else it'll just be moving around. So this is how I'm going to treat this. And then I like to go in just with a little bit of it's a little bit lighter than that one, just to brighten that up a bit. I like my under eyes pretty bright. So again, I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit before I get to blending out. And then once I blend it out, I'll set it with my powder. And I just wanted to say as well that I may not use all the brushes in this collection. I'm gonna use as much as I can. I know that it comes with an eyeliner brush, like to place eyeliner very thin, and it also comes with a lip brush. Even in other collections, I really don't use those kind of brushes, so I may not use every brush. It doesn't need to be a brush collection that fits all your needs, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I never get a brush collection that fits all my needs. So just a little forewarning here. Okay, so like a minute has passed, so now I'm going to go in with this brush and see just how it blends out. This is weird. Yeah, I don't like it. I feel like it's just taking off product, and then under my eyes look a mess. It's really creasing. But let me finish blending out with a beauty sponge, and then I'll set with this. But I feel like this is just, it's a little too dense. I really don't like it. So let me finish blending out with a beauty sponge, and I'll set with that brush. Maybe it's better with powder. So yeah. Okay, I blended out with this sponge. Let's go in with powder now and see how it performs. I'm setting my eyelids as well, because I also apply concealer on my eyelids. That's what I always do. And I'm setting them with a powder. Yeah, I don't like it with the brush. I don't like setting my under eye concealer with the brush. I just don't. Like, I haven't found one brush yet that I like, that I can set my under eye concealer with. I just rather stick with a sponge. On to the next thing. I'm going to contour / bronze. I like to call it bronzing because I feel like contouring is just a little more in depth. But I'm gonna go in where I normally go in. And then with this, to blend this out, I am going to go in with the angle brush. And that's exactly what I picked up. The Face Flat Angled Brush. It says it's perfect for blush and bronzer. So I may blend this out and set with this. So let's see. And I would normally go in with an angled brush anyhow, so and I'm going in with the, I guess, the angle facing down or up, or yeah, with the slope facing up, I guess. If that makes sense. Okay. Not too bad. I know it probably looks funny on my forehead right now, but it'll all come together. That's how makeup always looks. You just gotta trust the process. But I like this brush. Definitely did exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna add a little bit more product. However, I do wish it was a little bit more narrow, I guess. A little bit wide, but that's okay, because I can kind of go like on an angle and use it instead. And to bronze my nose, I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit and just run down the edge where I applied that bronzer. And yeah, I think it looks good. So now I think I'm just going to set the rest of my face and then go back in with this with a powder bronzer to further bronze. But you guys, my under eyes, horrible. So I just went in with my beauty sponge and applied powder underneath my eyes and to help bake and to help really set that concealer. So I'm just going to let that sit there for a while. I know it looks funny, but that's called baking, and that's what it looks like when you bake. So I'm gonna go in with my foundation powder and just set my foundation and the rest of my face, and then I'll go to the next step. So to set my face with powder, I'm going to use the face round brush. So I'm gonna go in per usual. Now I definitely prefer something more fluffier, not so dense, but this will ultimately help me get more coverage anyway, so that's okay. I don't mind at all. Some people go in with a translucent powder. I just don't do that. I just go in with a matching foundation powder. That's just always been my preference. Plus, I realize this helps me get much more coverage, and I don't feel powdery or cakey when I do that. So like I said in my other videos, as far as reviewing brushes, I never mind the brush that I use to put on my powder foundation. Like, it doesn't matter to me. So this one works well. I'm pretty sure it will also work well with applying the liquid foundation. So I'm excited to try this next time to see if it applies liquid foundation well. But as far as powder, I mean, it delivers what it's supposed to deliver. It just packs the powder on, so that way it can set my foundation. Alright, so to finish bronzing my face, I said I was going to go in with the same brush that I used to, which one is that? The angled one, the face flat angled one. I said I was going to go in with this one to further bronze out my face, but it's actually a angled one that's like kind of round. So I'm actually going to go in with that one instead and bronze up my face. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's so soft, and I like doing both steps of like first the cream and then the powder, but you definitely don't have to do that, but that's just my preference. But at one point, it was never that. But when I started doing it, I totally liked it. I just like being warm. Like for my skin to look warm. So, and bronzer really helps your skin to bring back some warmth where the sun would normally hit it. And I'm also going to go in with a little bit. I'm going to squeeze the brush and go in with a little bit and run down my nose. Warm that nose up. And then bring that highlight a little bit forward. Makes my nose look skinnier. This is contouring, but contouring lazily. Okay, so now my friends, we have used all of the face brushes, and aside from the one tapered brush, I love them. I love them, and I highly suggest them. So y'all go ahead, even if it's just for these brushes, y'all go ahead and get it, okay? Now, normally at this point, I will go in with my blush and my highlighter, but it seems as if I don't have a brush for that, but that's okay because again, everything is not going to fit all my needs. So I'm just going to go in and apply my highlighter and blush as usual, and then go ahead and get started on the eyes. Alright, so blush and highlighter is on. Now on to the eyes. We have, how many brushes? About 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 brushes for the eyes, I believe. And they include the classic eyeshadow brush. They include the precision brush, the detailed brush, the angled detail brush, then the eyeliner brush. So I'm going to go in with something that's fluffy, which is probably actually this is the concealer brush, but there's no other brush I would use in this collection to like put my transition shade or my first shade down. So I'm going to use this brush, which actually looks like an eyeshadow brush, but it says it's a concealer brush. So I'm going to go in with a shade that I normally place all over my lids and see how this applies. This brush is actually too narrow for like applying a shade all over your lid. I like to use a fluffy brush to really apply a shade all over my lid. This is just a nude shade, so you probably won't even see it as well. But let's see how it applies when we go a little bit darker in the eye. Let's see how it applies. So now I'm going to go in with something a little more darker, a little more dark. And I'm just going to apply that at the corners of my eye. Now I'm just like using this to give me some depth in my eye. And I'm actually going to go in with the angled one, the angled brush right here. And this is an angled eyeshadow brush, and just get the same color and just like go into the V of my eye. So go from the outside into like a V motion and like this. Okay, so I'm building up some depth. I'm gonna go in with an even darker color. I'm just taking that dark color and just like blending it right on top of that second shade. I think it looks pretty good. Alright guys, so I did go in a little bit and just deepen this up a little bit more. It's a little bit dark. I wasn't going for that really dark look, but I mean, it's gonna work. Almost looks like a cut crease right now, but I actually like the way it looks. You guys, I really don't know what brush is which because they saying the number 8 brush is a classic eyeshadow brush, and it's like the picture shows that it's angled, but this is what they're saying, that this is a classic eyeshadow brush. How is this a classic eyeshadow brush? I don't know. So I'm just going in with what I think it could be used for. I have 2 like flat brushes here. Actually one looks like I can apply concealer with, which is like this one, but this actually looks like an eyeshadow brush as well, like to pack on eyeshadow. And this one is pretty like, I don't know, pretty narrow as well. I'm just going to use this flat one to apply my lid shade, and we'll see how it goes. Oh. Wow, that looks good, y'all. Normally I apply my eyeshadow with my finger. Like maybe I'll get it on there with a brush, but then I'll apply my finger. But this actually looks really good applied with just a brush. So this flat one is, I believe, the detailed brush. Like this doesn't seem like it would be a detailed brush. This seems like this would be the eyeshadow brush. I think they got it mixed up. I really do think they got it mixed up on a little card. But that looks good. Let me wet the brush and let me see how it applies when wet a little bit. You get a little bit more color payoff when it's wet. So let's see. It looked good without me applying setting spray like on the brush to kind of wet the shade or wet the brush, but it looks good. Like, wow. I'm gonna take a lighter color and just pop that in the center. Then I'm gonna go back in with the first brush that I use and go back in with like the brown that I use and just blend out any harsh lines around that eyelid shade. I'm gonna go in with this brush that I was comparing to the other brush. It's kind of a little bit more narrow. I'm gonna go in with some highlighter and just apply that like in the corner of my eyes. I love applying highlighter like in this area. Really help makes it pop. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some eyeliner on and some lashes. It's been so long since I went in with like a gel eyeliner. I'm actually gonna try it today on this angled brush. Let's see, why not? Let's see how it works. I really don't go in with gel liner anymore. This is the first method I use to apply like a wing, but I don't go in with it anymore. But let's see how it goes. This brush is a little bit too long to apply gel liner. Like it's really long and it's not dense enough. So it's just bending all over the place. So it's really, really difficult to apply your liner with this kind of brush. And I don't think it's really for that purpose. I'm not feeling this brush. I don't think I can go any further because it's really, really difficult. It's really difficult. But I got it done, and here is my wing that I use with a different brush, but that's okay. So under the lash line, I'm going to use this like tapered small one. This is called a precise brush. So I'm going to use this tapered small one. Looks like a hold on. It looks like a pencil brush. Like I think that's exactly like what it is. Really small and tapered. So I'm going with this one and just smoke out my lash line per usual. I'm gonna go in with a brown. actually did a great job. Now I'm going with like an even darker one right on top of that. That did the job, pretty easy peasy. Let me go in with some lashes real quick off camera. Alright y'all, I'm back. So I did throw on some lashes and some lipstick. I did not use the lip brushes that came in the collection to apply like my liner or lipstick, only because that's just not like my preference to do so. But you can use those brushes to maybe like detail around the eyes. I actually used a small brush just to add a little bit more highlight in the center of my eye and bring it down here. I did do that off camera. I totally forgot, but I am in love with the way that this look turned out, guys. And also, these eyelashes are the first time I'm ever trying these out. These are from Amazon. They were only like 10 bucks or so, and I actually like them. I never tried dramatic lashes, so this is like a new territory for me, but I'm definitely liking the way it looks, because I was like, I need a dramatic lash for this. I normally go with like wispy, very like everyday lash, but I felt like with this look I needed something a little bit more dramatic, and I absolutely love them. I thought it would be like a little bit overpowering, but it does work out for this look. But as far as the brushes goes, I give these maybe like a 7 out of 10 ish. I definitely love the face brushes. As far as like, even if I purchased it just for the face brushes, I definitely felt like I still got my money's worth, because it will only be basically $2 a face brush, so that's definitely a steal. As for the eye brushes, my favorite one was the one that I used to apply my eyeshadow, the like foiled eyeshadow. Definitely like that one. So as far as the other ones, I like the one that smoked out the bottom lash line. Definitely like that one as well. But as far as the ones that I used for, you know, like the darker shade in my eye, I'm not really a fan of. The angle brush I will use again, the angle one that I use like in like the V of my eye. But this teeny one, I mean, I'll use it like to really pack a shade, but I was really hoping they would have something in the collection that I could use to really blend out and like diffuse eyeshadows with. But that's okay. And as far as the lip ones, I definitely will use those around the eyes. I mean, these are very small and very like detailed, so these will definitely be used like if I want to apply some highlight, like I said, or maybe even, you know, smoke out my lash line even more. So yeah, definitely liking those. But I highly suggest this for those who are just beginning, who just need like a good set of brushes. I'm hoping that they wash well, that when I go to wash them, they're not like breaking apart or the bristles aren't falling out. But I would definitely wash these in lukewarm water, just in case the base comes off of like the neck, because sometimes hot water can cause the glue to separate from the unit. But other than that, I highly suggest these brushes, even if you're not a beginner. Just something where it's just like, you know, you don't really care if you mess them up or whatever, like they're only 10 bucks. I also ordered a different set a couple of days ago that I think is by this company, but yeah, I think it is by this company, but it's just like a different kind. But I'm going to be reviewing those as well, so stay on the lookout for that video as well. But again, I love the way this applied my foundation, my bronzer, my all around face powder. I definitely definitely highly suggest. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for rocking with me. I hope that you try these brushes on your own. I just wanted to share, you know, this with you because this is good news. Just like I'll be sharing God with everyone else, you know, with people, I want to share this as well. Let's not keep, you know, good things to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys enjoy. Please give it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.